All right. Good morning, y'all. Look at that sunrise. It's Keep It Simple Saturday today. So, my name is Stacy Renee. I'm a transformational mindset shift coach. Let's mindset shift today, okay? So, we've talked a lot about expectations and intentions this week, in the lives and everything that I've done. And I've had two people this week. This is why we are doing Keep It Simple Saturday outside. Look at all that. Isn't that cool in the background? Because two of the people, and usually I go by the rule of three, but I don't need three today because two is enough to tell me that they like when I do the videos outside. So to go for a walk. So Keep It Simple Saturday could be going for a walk. I suggest this a lot because we're able to clear our minds, go for a walk, clear your mind. But it's also good on a healthy basis too, just to get out, and get some fresh air and walk. We get in these stuffy places. But I wanted to go deeper today is that this may not mean anything to some of you. You may think it's woo-woo, but we live our life by time. And they say time is irrelevant as well. But the fact is that we live our life by time. I'm the age that I am because time has passed by. Many sunrises and sunsets have passed. So this weekend, we're looking at a new moon, which you're not going to look at. You're never going to see a new moon because the moon isn't reflecting. The sun isn't reflecting on the moon at a new moon. So what this is indicative of, why for me as a coach, what I do is I do tracking. That's how we track. That's how we, tracking is a way that we can build our self-esteem by seeing where we started and where we're going and the little paths in between. It's very important in coaching because a lot of times people give up because they don't do the tracking. So for me in my tracking, I like to do the tracking with the new moon and the full moon. So the new moon is full of possibilities, even though you can't see anything. And it's about having faith. Having faith. Because where would we be without sunrises to bring us warmth and to bring us light and to guide us through the day? And then the moon so we can sleep through the night. So it's about having that faith in these new possibilities. I work with people of a lot of different faiths, and sometimes it's about, honoring ourselves, honoring, for the feminine, it's about honoring our mothers. Dudes could honor their mothers too, or their fathers, or those that went before them that didn't have the permission to live their lives fully and totally like we get to live our life today, fully and totally. There are people who went before us who didn't get to do these things. Some of us dance under the moonlight. You're not going to have new moonlight. But there are new possibilities. And that's that faith, just having that faith that you are worthy and have these possibilities. Look at that. How about that? I like to also, just to digress for a minute, is to encourage people to get out and walk and play like Where's Waldo? Or these things, because it can connect us to the childlike essence, to see something that you've not seen before or that brings you joy, because children get outside, or at least when I was a kid. Now my kids, I told them one time, because they were complaining about being outside, we were doing something, and I said, we played outside all day when I was a kid, and they're like, what did you do? So, anywho, but, yeah. So, the new moon is new possibilities. I like to put 3 things down on a list. When we talk about the soul and the ego, which may be woo-woo to you, but the ego, if you want to think of it scientifically, because no one knows where the ego is in the body. No one knows where the soul is in the body, but some people like to think their soul is connected to their heart. Now, I think the soul and the ego are right there together along with love and grief, And so I think of it there. But it's your body. You put it where you want to, But some people, think of the heart as the soul. you know, and the ego would be your parasympathetic response system. This is what gives you your drive. I know that a lot of people think that the ego is bad because the ego means that you're cocky instead of confident. And then some people are afraid to be confident. They're afraid to sound confident when I'm working with people, and it's like, you know, there is genuine confidence in things. I roller skated from the time I was 7 until the time I was 19. I was a good roller skater. And when you do something and practice that, you're going to be good at it. And it's okay to be confident about it. So when you're doing your new moon activities, when you're thinking of the things under this new moon, of what you want to accomplish, it's going to be a practice. It's going to be little by little. So I write down 3 things for the new moon. And with this eclipse, it's double the energy, you know, as you may have been feeling really emotional with all these energies. A lot of people don't give credit for how the earth and the shifts and the changes and all of this, although we know with full moon that people get crazy with the emotions, because the moon is indicative of emotions, connecting with your emotions. Especially for women, and I imagine men too, because women ain't the only ones going crazy under the full moon, y'all. So, anyway, I encourage you to get out and walk. I encourage you to realize that it's okay to be confident and build esteem through practice, you know, and to be able to enjoy yourself while you're doing this, you know. Is there anything else I wanted to add? I always pray in the morning that I come up with these things before I get on here, and it's like, oh yeah, I'll say this, I'll say this, I'll say that. This is good. Because I get these divine ideas when I pray and get quiet. Then I get on here. So I write down 3 things. I'm going to be doing that today. Tomorrow at 3:45, they say all of this is going to come together. But, you know, it's just carrying it with us. That energy is still there. So it's this acknowledgement of energy that will give us our drive, that ego, but also the soul. The soul gives us the direction on our drive. The ego, our protection, and the soul, our purpose. So we can all come together in harmony. So I hope that you harmonize today, that you bring harmony to your day. Give yourself 3 wishes. You don't have to wait for birthdays to give yourself 3 wishes once a year. This is an unlimited universe. Life is a blessing and not a curse. Get out here and do it. I'm trying to get y'all to the park, and then I'll get off of here. I just want to show you the park. Okay? They have these parks set up here in the neighborhoods, and so people can go, and they've got some equipment in the park that you can work out on. That's what Prentice had told me to say, you know, because a lot of people think they have to have gym memberships to be able to work out. You don't have to have a gym membership. I do not have a gym membership. I'm not opposing gym memberships because it can also bring you unity and community. Some people need that, and that's okay. But I've talked about reasons and excuses this week too. So not having a gym membership is not an excuse not to at least walk if you can. So not everybody can walk. My dear mother can't walk right, you know, like this right now. But if we can, we need to. When I go parking at the store, I don't mind parking a ways from the door because I can, you know. So it's not thinking that I have to have my time, everything's no more valuable than anyone else. So with that, you know, confidence being said, is that just because we're confident doesn't mean that we think that we're more valuable. Humility and confidence can go together, because I'm pretty confident. And I'm confident that I can park there. So we're at the park now, speaking of parking. Okay, look at this. I didn't turn it around, so hopefully you're seeing everything really cool. But we're here. Isn't this great? Hold on, see the little kiddie parks here for the kiddos to play in. All the greenery. I took my kids to the park a lot when they were kids. I couldn't afford a whole lot sometimes as a single mom, but I could take them to the park. My brothers and I always liked when my mom took us to the park. Our dad too. We got to go to Zebo's Park, oddly enough. And my son has a memorial now at the disc golf. They didn't have that when we were kids. But look, here's the adult park here. See? So we got the elliptical here we can play on, right? Y'all see that? So yeah. Whee! So I'm on the elliptical. But yeah, then there's a little bridge there. There's this thing that you could do your your sit-ups on. And then you can do your twist on that thing over there. See? A lot of good stuff here. We can twist on this one, you see, because these little things go around. Well, this one doesn't do so well. I think it needs some WD-40. But I wanted y'all to see that bridge better. Can y'all see it? We're going to finish after we go to the bridge. What will you build a bridge to today? Will you cross a bridge today? What will you do today to make these dreams come true? It's these little things monthly that we do. So I write these things down on the new moon. There's the bridge. I write these things, 3 things down for me, but just one thing is fine. And then when the full moon comes, I see how well I've come along in the tracking of that. And the full moon reveals more to you. So typically people will sage at the full moon. We'd burn Palo Santo at the new moon. It doesn't burn very long and you can't even see the new moon. But it's just about celebrating possibilities, new possibilities, you know. So, you know, a lot of people can think them, but they don't actually put into action. So when we burn Palo Santo or sit down and make a list, so I work with so many people, they're going and going and going for everybody else, but not doing anything for themselves. So by the time I get to the full moon, I can review what it was that I put down for the new moon. Did it happen yet? Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. Doesn't mean a failure if I'm not. It just means that I need to recalibrate. Put it back on the list again for the next month, because I do 3 on my list. But start with 1. Start with 1. Mine, I can tell you, is more clients. You know, so I name the amount of clients I hope to receive for that month. And you know, when we pray, I was always taught to pray for this or something better, because sometimes Source has a better idea in mind, you see. So a lot of times people get stuck on praying for one thing and for it to be a certain way. I encourage you not to be rigid like that and be open to those possibilities. Because we put a thought forward today and look for it to manifest in the future. We talked about reasonable and unreasonable expectations. You know, make sure you make it reasonable. Like, I'm not going to say I'm going to have 100 clients in 1 month. But I'm going to put what I feel is a reasonable amount or something better. And then, you know, hope for that. And then if I get it, it's going to be like, oh, cool. And I can mark that off the list and then make a new goal. That's it. It's about having that relationship with ourselves more so than outside of ourselves, okay? Because you are worth it, you are valuable, and you keep it simple today. Just put one thing on your list if you want, one reasonable thing you would like to see happen. And maybe we'll talk about the art of non-attachment, because you don't attach to it. It's not to say that you're, because we talked a lot about not hoping for the best and expecting the worst. You can't have two emotions like that at the same time. Emotions are energy in motion, and you're doing 2 steps forward and 1 step back when you have that kind of thought process. So it's about, okay, remembering where we've achieved. That's why it's good to make these lists too, and to acknowledge this tracking, because it helps you to remember and to develop this confidence that I'm talking about. So these things are our public transportation in Mexico. Colectivo is what they call them. And I've ridden plenty. All right, y'all. I'm going to get off of here. I hope that you enjoyed our walk to the park this morning, and that you'll think about, what bridges you're going to cross or build, but don't burn them. Don't burn them necessarily unless it's going to serve your highest and best good. Because serving your highest and best good is what serves others' highest and best good. Because when you are able to show up happy within yourself, your cells, and your soul, other people are going to have that happiness and ability too. That gives everybody more room to breathe. You ever been around, when we talk about energy, y'all may think that's woo-woo, but have you ever been around a room of people where you just felt stuffy and you couldn't breathe? Get outside, darlings. Get you some air. All right. Keep it simple and have an awesome Saturday, a super Saturday. Bye.